Okay, so we're going to finish up this lecture, but we're going to jump into the 25 pair color codes. Now, this is what a 25 pair cable looks like, and the next week, um, well, this is February 9th, 2024, and this is for this class, if you're watching this thing like 2 years from now. So what I say is for my present class at the time I'm making this video. Next week is going to be the lab that we're going to terminate this 25 pair cable onto something that's called a BIX termination strip. Right? And we're going to learn what the 25 pair cable stands for. So some of us who have watched the video, it's just going to be a nice, pleasant review. And if you haven't watched it, then, well, you're going to get some of that thing now. All right, let me take about 5 minutes and teach you what the 25 pair color code is so you can remember things. All right, where's my. All right, 25 pair color is 25 pair cable is mostly produced for the telephone slash intercom type of use, which means most of the time you're going to get it's going to be in Cat3, which is obsolete as far as data communications, but for the phone connections, it's still valid. So here it is. And once upon a time, you're going to stumble onto something that's Cat5 or Cat5e, 25 pair color cable. You can notice a couple of differences. One is that the twist is more consistent on the 25 pair on in Cat 5 or Cat 5e, and the twist is tighter. See that here. That this twist here is just a little bit of a twist for enough for Cat 3, Cat 5, or Cat 5e. There's a more solid twist. All right. During my whole time that I've done the telecommunications, which is about 30 years or so ish, I only had to do this deal with that Cat 5 E25 pair color cable once or twice. Most of it would be Cat 3 doing telephone, intercom, school PA systems, any kind of control wires as far as thermostat or whatnot. When things had to be, well, when things had to be, well, when cables with more pairs had to be employed, right? And telephony a lot, right? So let's take a look at the color code here. There are 5 groups: white, red, black, yellow, violet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each group, each color group has 5 designations. And you remember the first 4 already, which is blue, orange, green, brown. Because these are the first, well, these are the 4 pairs of the Cat5e cable that we have done some work already with. So, and it uses the first 4 pairs of the 25 color code. Well, the solids are the designations. So you got blue, orange, green, and brown. And you got the complementary color, which would be the stripe, in white. Right? So white is the first group. Here is the last color of the of the first group, which is slate, which is basically gray. The only reason why I think it's called slate, not gray, because when you're using 3-letter designations, so yes, blue is being spelled with BLU and E, but if you use 3-letter designations, it becomes BLU. So here, now this one here would be gray, so it would be something, I don't know, GRY or something like that. It's too close to GRN. Right? And in technical documentations, we always try to avoid any kind of mistakes like that, that things could be similar and they could be misread because they look similar to each other. So slate is SLT and the green is GRN, so there's no way to mistake these two. Otherwise would be GRN and GRY. All right. So, see, this one here repeats. Blue, orange, green, brown, slate. Again. Blue, orange, green, brown, slate. Blue, paycheck is on Thursday. Blue, orange, green. Okay. All right, got it? Every group has those blue, orange, green, brown, slate. And here is how we remember the groups. The first one you already remember because we have worked with it in Cat 5e. You have worked with the first group. The complementary color is the white with the stripe of whatever that is. So here's a solid, here's a stripe, white group. Okay, so we are in Canada, so just Canadian colors. Next one is red. Now, I always say if you live in Sweden, so I feel sorry for the people in like Sweden, for example, because if they deal with 25 pair color code cable, they still have to use Canadian colors, right? So yeah, I feel very sorry for them. All right, so that's just too bad. Right? So first two groups, white, red. Now from Canada we travel right down to Texas. Yeehaw! All right. In Texas there is a certain type of a snake. It's called a coral snake. And the coral snake has those little rings arranged around its body that they have a black and yellow that they meet, they touch those rings. It's extremely poisonous snake and it should be avoided. Well, there are some signs on grass. They said don't walk on grass, not because they want to keep the grass nice and neat, but because there could be some snakes, kind of crawling in the, sliding in the grass. They teach the kids a little rhyme to avoid those snakes when they see that, because there's also another one, I forgot its name. It's an imposter. It looks almost like that one, but it's not poisonous. Right? But when they see the black and yellow, they should avoid that snake. And they teach the little rhyme for the kids in Texas, black and yellow kill a fellow, right? So that means it's a dangerous snake. Right, so what do we have here? We already know the first one. Canadian colors red, black and yellow kill a fellow. And here's the last color is violet, which sounds a lot like violence, and violence is the last thing that we need. So the color is the last one. Right? So we have white, red, black and yellow kill a fellow, violence is last thing we need. All right. So now let's see here. All right. So I just switch to the next slide. Based on that, see that? Blue, orange, green, brown, slate. White, red, black and yellow, kill a fellow, violence is the last thing that we need, the last color group. So just remember that right now. And I'm going to ask you, what would be the pair number 19? What colors would that be? I just switched the slide off. Pair number 19. Can you, just by remembering what I just told you, can you name the colors of pair 19? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Or someone says brown, yellow. Okay, so you got two people. All right, let's see here. Pair 19. Let's go back. Here's 5, here's 5, here's 10. 5, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Look at that. It's the yellow group and the brown. Good. See, so you got the concept. You got the concept. Brown, violet. No, there's no brown, violet would be 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. That would be 24th pair. Brown, violet. There you go. Huh? You're not going to be asked to name the pairs based on the color code. You're not going to at work, which is, but well, somebody might say that, but you're not going to be asked and get paid for it. But this is just so you understand the concept of the 25 pairs. Right? All right, now 25 pair cable is made as one 25 pair bundle, and when you strip the cable, you're going to strip the jacketing. You are going to see a little rip cord, which is going to be straight line, so you can use this as a rip cord to peel the jacket. And you're going to find a spiral wrap around it as well. And the spiral wrap is going to have a certain color. Now, the one that you're going to have just 25 pair, just one 25 pair, you're going to see the spiral wrap. Sometimes it's going to be in the blue color. Why is that? Here is here's what a 100 pair cable looks like. 100 pair cable is 1, 2, 3, 4. 25 pair cables, or yeah, in one jacket. Yeah, so it's 100 pair cable. So here is how some of the challenges were solved. Okay, this one has a little bit of like a plastic ribbon, and notice that there's a bit of a blue color here. Notice that in this plastic ribbon, on this one I'm showing you right now, there is a little bit of an orange. Oh, look at that. Blue, orange, green, maybe brown. We can see it here on the picture, but one of them is going to be a green ribbon and a brown ribbon. So blue, orange, green, brown. What you do is when you strip this cable as far as you need, you're going to make sure that you don't lose the ribbons on the bundles. So you're going to peel that ribbon back all the way to where you strip the cable, and you're going to wrap it around that bundle and tie a knot, just so that bundle is kept together. So this is going to be the orange bundle. Here's going to be a blue bundle, and so on. So this way you will know which bundle is first, which bundle is second, and it's just like blue bundle, blue, orange, green, and brown. Same color code as the designation colors. So this way, if you didn't do that, if you don't do it, and you just let all of them go, you're going to have a bunch of wires just hanging, and you grab a pair. Let's say it's going to be yellow, brown. You will not know if the yellow brown pair is from the first bundle or the third bundle or the fourth bundle, right? So that's how things are being solved with 100 pair color cable, 100 pair cable. So this is basically what I just said here, right? All right, now applications example one. All right, multiple links in telecommunications, usually in telephony, and this is going to be our lab. You're going to terminate 25 pair onto that BIGS termination strip. Those are being used in termination fields. Here are the frames. And look, here are some 25 pair 25 pair cables going from wherever they come in into this field. And here are some more 25 pair cables going from somewhere else. So one of them could be going to a shoe store in the mall. The other one, or two or five, could be going to some larger department store in the mall, and so on. And there would be some lines being brought in. So we terminate those just like here. We terminate on this side, which is so we can punch them. It's a punch down kind of a platform. And once all of them are punched, then we're going to flip it. So the front is at the back and the back is at the front. So this way here we have a fresh connection that we can do. We just punch into that, let's say pair one, and that pair one here on this side is connected to that pair one that's punched at the back. And I use a cross connect wire to cross connect that to any whatever pair we need to on the other side. There could be bunch of 20 excuse me 25 I'm sorry about 25 pair cables, or it could be some individual field wiring going on the other side. And usually things are going to be labeled using those designation strips right here. And if you watch the video, you'll know exactly what I mean. All right, now let's see here. Other use in telephony. All right, here's a 25 pair cable. Here's something that's called an M-phenol connector, and it's registered jack RJ21. See? This 21 has nothing to do with 21 of anything. It's just a catalog type of a number. So this thing can be registered as RJ21. And the X stands because it could be male or female version of that. Here's a connector in the phone system. Here's a little bit of phone box. And this one here is it's a Nortel Meridian system. It's called 3x8. It can have 3 incoming telephone lines, 1, 2, 3 here, and they are using jacks for those. And you can have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs are being used for the telephone extensions for that. Right? And there are some last ones that are designated for like music on hold. The other one would be some relay for a night ringer and so on. I can explain this thing if you're interested. Right? So that's another use. How do we connect that? Here is the M-phenol connector. That's what it looks like. Right? There's a male and a female version of that. You can actually terminate that cable onto these 2 connectors, one male, one female, and if you just connect them to each other, you are going to have an extension of a cable. You can do that, or you can do the B connectors that we have done. It depends on what you want to do. When I used to install the school PA systems, I would have the BICS fields terminated with all those wires going to each individual speaker station in the school, in the classrooms. And from that BICS field, that the other side I would make and terminate on the equipment rack, and the equipment rack was on wheels. So if that equipment rack needed to be disconnected, like for example in the summer when there's thorough cleaning of the school, that can be just unsnapped, rolled out, and could be snapped back in. I tell you, that was a quality installation. Usually people don't do that. They'll just wire things out and you can't remove the rack from anywhere. You need to call a special technical crew to disconnect it. But that's one of the uses for that. Here is something that's called a butterfly tool. The butterfly tool is used to terminate these. So you get one of those without you take the cover off and you mount it right here. And then you run the wires on one side, run the wires on the other side, and close the handle. And these jaws are going to insert those wires into the connector and cut the excess wires off. Look at this little short video. That's what I mean. This used to be a very expensive tool, in the range of like $500 or $600 some years ago, but now you can probably pick one up for like $25 on eBay if if you really want to have one. It's a useful thing. Right? And that's the last slide for that one. Now let's go back to where we were here. We already got this, so we know what the dry loop is, we know what the hard loop is, and if you still don't know, watch the previous video, and if you're still struggling with the concept, talk to me one-on-one. I'll explain that to you. All right. Now, as far as installing telephone wires, here's what things used to be like. Here will be a telephone pole, and with the telephone wires going in, maybe 1 or 2 telephone lines. And here is the demarcation point right on the side of the house. Where was that? It looks like this. All right. And from there will be telephone line run into the first telephone jack, and over here it would be actually connected to the 2 middle prongs, right? Remember, that's where the phone looks for the connection. And then it will be parallel connected to the next jack, and then we parallel connect it to another jack, whatever, how many jacks you have in the house. It was called daisy chaining. Okay. Um, Daisy chaining, it should not be done. Just avoid that possibility if you're doing a new installation. Just don't do that. However, when you are going to participate in some sort of service calls with existing installations, well, that's you're going to find that a lot in the some of the older installations. It's still so how that worked was that you could plug in a telephone into each and every one of those jacks, and if somebody talks on one, picks up the phone line because it's shared still same line, just a parallel connection. So you can talk on this phone right here, and somebody in the other room could pick up the phone. So that's when the fathers would trying to discreetly pick up the phone in the other room to see what the daughter is talking about with her boyfriend, right? That was a common thing, and it was a common thing used in some of the comedy skits all over, from 70s and 80s, right? But the thing is that if this phone was hung up not properly, so it was just off the hook, then nobody could use the other phones because there was no signal. Everything had to be hung up properly in order for the phone line to be ready and ready to ring, or you could just pick up and dial. That is the thing of the past. And as I said, you're still going to see some of that. So here's the daisy chaining part. Now, wiring configuration. Now, what we use, first of all, we don't use the phone cable to connect phone lines anymore. We use data cable because data cable still can be used as a phone cable. It's just the phone cable cannot be used as a data cable because it just doesn't fulfill the specifications, will not carry the signal. The signal is too much for a phone cable. But a data cable yes, it can carry the phone line. So if you connect in a star configuration, so all the jacks, instead of going daisy chaining, they just home run to the same location and you get something like this. It's not going to look exactly like this. You could have big termination, or you could have a patch panel from all those. Now, in this case, you have control. So if you say, in office situations, for example, you will have a desk that has two jacks. One can be used for computer, for the PC. The other one can be used for telephone. And depending on what you plug in to on the other side, that's this kind of signal you're going to carry. Now remember, the T568 wiring would be right here. That'll be the USOC wiring. Okay, so blue pair is the first line. That's a pair number one. And look where it goes. It goes right to the two middle prongs. That's the USOC configuration. The pairs just go outwards. T568. Remember when we did the dance thing in blue, orange, so it's blue, orange, and green and brown. We were pointing our fingers left and right. So that'll be the dance that we did. But the blue and orange, blue is also in the middle. So if you plug in the phone line, it will carry a phone signal. But it has to be plugged in on the other side, carried through, and the phone plugs into it, of course, right? So you got the freedom of using that as if you connect things in a star configuration, independent connections, you have the freedom of using each individual jack as a phone or as in data. Okay. Right. So you know what? I told you it was going to be a little bit shorter lesson today, and it is. So we are caught up to date with all the materials so far. You can use the rest of the few minutes to either watch the other preparation video, or you can watch the rest of the minutes to not complain that I'm holding you too much with Miss Abir. No, just kidding. Okay, there's no big deal. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Okay, just okay. Never mind. We just had a good laugh. All right, that's it for today. So please enjoy your weekend, and I will see you when I see you, probably on Monday. No worries. Yes, okay. Yeah, she is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. All right. I'll see you when I see it. Thank you. Hey, I can never catch the end button here. It disappears.